Frost, Fire and Philosophy. Frostpunk 2 makes its long-awaited debut on consoles. This just isn't another survival city builder. It's a political test of will, a moral balancing act, and a logistical nightmare you just can't look away from. But how well does that all translate to Xbox? Let's dive into Frostpunk 2's console edition and find out. Now, if you're new to the franchise, Frostpunk 2 is set 30 years after the first game. The world is still encased in ice, but now the struggle isn't just survival, it's ideology. You're no longer managing a single small outpost, but overseeing a sprawling city of districts, each with its own systems and political leanings. Now on console, the game drops with a redesigned UI and control schemes built from the ground up for your gamepad. That includes radial, menus, button cycling between zones, and reworked navigation to make the complexity manageable. Let's talk about the core gameplay loop. You're still building infrastructure, managing heat and food, and expanding your influence. But Frostpunk 2 piles on more moving parts, including laws, factions, and internal city politics. Now each decision you make has ripple effects. Focus on efficiency, and you risk civil unrest. Lean too hard into ideology, and your resources may suffer. It's a delicate, often brutal balancing act. As your city grows, you divide it into districts, each with its own production, population, and ideology. The scale means everything feels more ambitious than the original, but it also means a loss of intimacy. You're zoomed out from the people and more into the macro management than ever before. But for players who thrive on system-level thinking, this is a rich sandbox. For those craving emotional storytelling through individual lives, it might feel just a little bit colder. Translating a complex PC strategy game to console is no easy feat, but Frostpunk 2 makes a solid effort. The redesigned interface helps a lot. You can cycle between districts quickly, pull up radial build menus with ease, and navigate resources with bumpers and triggers. For the most part, it works. Though for some tasks, it's like selecting specific buildings or fine-tuning production, it still feels a little fiddly on a controller. Graphically, the game looks stunning on the Series X. Sweeping ice storms, warm glowing heat zones, and dynamic lighting effects, they're all here. But once your city grows, and the screen just fills with the detail, the frame rate tends to occasionally dip. Now the load times are decent, and the game's UI scales well to a 4K TV setup, but don't expect buttery smooth performance throughout. The bigger your city, the more stress it will put on the system. Now the replay value is one of the console edition's biggest strengths. The choices you make politically, economically, and socially lead to vastly different outcomes. Do you appease the technocrats, rule with authority, or try to walk the impossible middle ground? The addition of a sandbox mode, called the Utopia Builder, gives you the freedom to create without narrative constraints. It's a nice shift in pace from the pressure of the main story. As for accessibility, there are some quality of life options, but they could go further. Text size, input remapping, and visual clarity are serviceable, but players with a motor or cognitive needs may find the interface overwhelming. The learning curve is still sharp, and the game doesn't do much hand-holding. If you're not already a fan of strategy and survival hybrids, this one may test your patience. Frostpunk 2's console edition is a bold and mostly successful attempt to bring a demanding, systems-heavy experience to a wider audience. The game's moral complexity, ideological tension, and survival mechanics are just as potent as ever. Its reworked controls and UI show clear care and understanding of the platform, even if they're not perfect. This isn't a game for everyone. It's dense, demanding, and emotionally draining at times. But for players who want strategy with substance, who like the cold bite of hard choices and the thrill of pulling a city back from the brink, it's a standout. I think this is a smart port with a thoughtful design and still brutally brilliant. Well, this is XboxEra. Please like, subscribe, and let us know How far would you go to save your city? Until next time.